Të dashur teleshikues të televizionit të shqiptarëve të Amerikës, televizioni ju gjithmonë ka qenë pjesë edhe e komunitetit. Natyrisht pjesë e komunitetit është politika lokale dhe ne kemi rastet e zgjedhjeve lokale të 7 nëntorit dhe një nga qytetet në cilin ka një numër të madh shqiptarësh është edhe qyteti I Westlandit. Ne kemi ftuar dhe na kërkoi ta ndihmojmë për të pasqyruar politikën e tij një kandidat për mayor të Westlandit. Today we are talking about local politics, and because we are in front of the local elections of 7 November, we have here a candidate who is running for the mayor of Westland, and it is Kevin Coleman. Kevin, you are welcome to the Albanian TV. We talk in advance about your campaign, how is your campaign focused, but we want to know more about what does it mean, your campaign, or what you promise to the Albanian community that is a large part of Westland. Welcome again at the Albanian TV. So how is the campaign going?
Campaign is going really well, much better than expected. I've been on the city council for the last 4 years. We ran a poll in the spring, and it showed that Westland residents, they wanted a change in the mayor's office and a change in direction in our city. And we're receiving a lot of support from homeowners, businesses, and people all over town. The election's coming up here on Tuesday the 7th, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Something that makes the difference in the life of the citizens of Westland, that you think to do in your coming years if you are elected?
So there's a lot at stake in this election. Westland residents have a clear choice. I'm the candidate who is going to offer more public safety. Our current mayor's cut our police because of budget cuts. I have a plan to hire 6 police officers without raising taxes, and what we're going to do is get tough on crime in Westland again. I also have a plan to bring more jobs and investment to our city. Right now our neighbors, Livonia, Canton, Plymouth Township, they're receiving a lot of investment, a lot of job creation, a lot of growth. Westland's kind of getting left behind. So I have a plan to reduce some of the taxes and try to bring more incentives so that certain areas of town we can bring in more investment and jobs. And this is good for the Albanian community as well, because as we all know, the Albanian community, there's a lot of small business owners.
We have to talk with each step. Let's talk about the police, about the situation of crime in Westland. What is the level of crime in Westland, and what is the actual police doing, and why you need to enforce the police? You said only adding 6 more police officers, but I don't think that it's enough to.
Right. So our current police chief, he is asking for 10. Now, because of budget constraints, 10 we can't do overnight. What I want to do as mayor is build towards 10. The first year, I have a plan to hire 6. Now, normally that would take a millage increase, a tax increase. But I don't want to see that, so what we're going to do is make some cuts in other areas to fund that police department. We have 80 officers for the city of Westland, but before we had about 115. So that's a big cut. So we don't have enough. They're spread very thin.
How many inhabitants live in Westland?
85,000.
85,000.
Yeah.
And you said that the situation of crime, a little crime, like stealing, like breaking properties, and it's...
Yeah, but it's becoming too common. We're seeing armed robberies of local businesses, gas stations, corner stores, that kind of thing. We're seeing people breaking into homes, burglaries.
From what you know, these are from locals or people coming from, let's say, Detroit areas and other areas?
I mean, it's a mix of people from all over. You know, there's obviously criminals from our city, there's criminals from other cities. So
as the mayor, what do you think that should be the main priority in order to decrease the crime level?
Yeah, so it's a complicated problem, but it'll take a focus from a few different areas. One of them is hiring police so that we have more visibility in the neighborhoods, more drive-throughs, patrols of police officers. Because when you see a cop, that makes you less likely to commit a crime. Okay, so
so you think that police should be more visible?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a huge goal of mine. Job creation, if people have more money and more jobs and more education, they're less likely to get involved in criminal activity. And then also recreation, because people of all ages, but especially young people, they need things to do. They need to play sports. They need to get involved in activities after school. Right now we don't have that. Our current mayor's cut all that out. So we don't have
So why the actual mayor that is you are running against it cut these funds out? There are no money?
So yeah, we had during the housing crisis in 2007, 2008, we had a lot of budget constraints and they made a lot of changes. But we've seen our revenue go back up. But instead of adding services like police and recreation, what he's done is given himself and his administration large pay raises. And there's nothing against, if you're doing a good job, you should make money. But the problem is he's not delivering on services. He's not delivering on public safety. He hasn't delivered on jobs. Okay, so this is where Westland residents want to change.
Well, you have been involved with the city because you told me that you are a sitting council and you observe the budget of the city.
Right.
So you know where the money comes from and where the money goes to.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I've seen firsthand that, the priorities in our budget haven't been in line with what our residents want. Our residents strongly want more police. They want some of those neighborhood services they've lost back, like leaf pickup or special bulk trash pickup. That's a service that where you could put out large items if you were throwing them away. You could put them out on the curb and the city would take them. Now we don't have those kind of.
We don't have those?
We don't have that anymore. So many services have been cut, but taxes and water rates have climbed up.
Yeah, I know that after the crisis it was that situation. Now the prices of houses are increasing, so the tax based on the price are increasing too for the city.
Right, that's true. So as revenue goes up, what I want to see is a focus more towards services, adding police, adding neighborhood services, and trying to make the city more affordable. And this is something that I think applies to all Westland residents, whether they be Albanian origin or American or anything else. As small business owners, as homeowners, as residents, you want to have a city that's more affordable. You want to make sure that your water rates aren't climbing up and up every year, or your taxes are getting so high that maybe you can't afford to live there. This is something, I'm somebody who really cares about taking care of everybody in our city.
That's very good, but how is the electorate responding to how you are working with your electors?
Yeah, so we're having a lot of success. This campaign has been more positive and more exciting than I expected. I knew that it would be a tough election because we're running against a mayor who's been there 11 years. Obviously, everybody knows his name and knows what he stands for. I'm still seen as somebody who's kind of new. I've been on the city council for the last 4 years, but my positive message of change has been very widely received, and I'm getting a lot more support than even I expected to get. So I have a lot of hope that we'll succeed in this election.
So the elections are at the 7th of November. So have you done polls with social media to learn how is the situation going?
So we've done some internal polling, and I know that the other side, they've done some polling as well, but we've chosen not to release our polling data, and that's just a kind of a strategic move. We've done a lot of advertising on social media. My Facebook page, it's Councilman Kevin Coleman for Mayor. It's a very active page, over 2,000 likes and followers. And I share what I'm doing, out in the community, or you'll see all kinds of photos of me in all different parts of town.
Let's talk about the Albanian community that lives on Westland. Most of them are from the southern Albania, from the region of Korça, but somehow because everybody takes his friends or relatives in this area. So how can you help the Albanian community with your policies? Being mayor,
so I have a few ideas about that, and then one is going back to something that helps, not just Albanians, but everybody, which is trying to keep our city affordable for business and homeowners, trying to keep our taxes low, and trying to keep our water rates under control. Because if you own a business and you're paying bills, right now the situation is before you even turn on your water, you're paying $128 every 2 months. for your water without even using water yet. And that's a policy that our current mayor had brought in to bring more money into the water fund. But that's an expensive policy because small businesses, they're having a hard time affording those bills.
So you are paying, but you are paying just to have the service without getting water, let's say, for that.
Right, and they call that fixed fees. And the fixed fees have really gone up quite a bit. What I'm thinking is maybe move back towards water rates being based on how much water you use rather than just automatically charging people.
How is this in confront with the situation of water and payments of water department in Detroit? Is the same situation that sends to this kind of policy, or it is a different?
Well, there's some relation to it because as Detroit improves their infrastructure and rebuilds their water system, some of the costs that Westland residents and businesses are paying will go towards that little by little. And then obviously we keep some of our water fund money to improve our infrastructure. But getting back to the taxes and the water rates, that's something that everybody will benefit from if we keep this more affordable. Now, Albanian residents in particular, my administration, we want to make sure that people who come to America who are new feel welcome in our city. We have a very welcoming city. We call it the All-American City, but it's a city for everyone. And I want people to know that if you come from another country, perhaps Albania or anywhere else, and you come here legally and you're happy to be here, then we're happy to have you here. And I want to have a program where we reach out to people who may be new, who just moved to the city, and show them where, good opportunities for education, places that are hiring for new jobs, and then connect them with, if they have issues with language, maybe we can help connect them with, improving their English or learning English as well. So I think Westland is a great place for everyone, but in particular, the Albanian community should feel very welcome in Westland.
So you are relatively young.
Yes.
So being young, what else do you bring to this position, to this mayor position?
So I'm 34 years old, and I've lived in Westland for most of my life, although as a child I lived in Redford, Michigan, which is near Detroit. And what I think in particular I bring is a new energy, a new aggressive energy towards more investment and job creation. I'm somebody that I'm not going to wait for businesses to come to us. I'm going to get on the phone or get in the car and go approach investors and CEOs of companies and tell them, hey, Westland is a place where you can come and make money and succeed and thrive. I'm somebody that is not afraid to bring people together with new ideas and innovation to improve our city. I'm somebody that's not afraid to think outside the box and do things that maybe haven't been done before.
What is your appeal to your electorate for the
I think personally, in particular,
you can directly them.
Yeah, and I think that people who may have met me or have seen me on Facebook or on TV or maybe through the mail, they get a sense that I'm somebody who's approachable. I actually give out my cell phone number in every piece of campaign advertising, my personal cell phone number, so people can give me a call themselves. I always call back. I always direct them to whoever may be able to help them. And really, I think I'm seen as somebody who's caring, who's personable, who's warm. And I think that's what people want with leaders these days. They want somebody who will follow up with them, and somebody who sincerely, genuinely really cares about them. So I think that's what I bring to the table.
Yeah, you bring to the table something that convinced me, but I think will convince all the people who will elect at the 7th of November. Don't forget, elect Kevin Coleman for mayor in Westland. You saw it's a young guy with a lot of energy to make the thing change for good. And Westland and the Albanian community there needs a guy like Kevin. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure too. Të dashur teleshikues të televizionit të shqiptarëve të Amerikës, sikurse na ndoqët në këtë moment e kishim kandidatin për kryetar bashkie të Westlandit, Coleman, me cilin ne zhvilluam një bisedë paraprake mbi fushatën e tij elektorale për kryetar bashkie të qytetit të Westlandit.